Let's look at a couple verses that Hebrew Israelites utilize, and then let's look at some brief responses. Brief responses to these verses. Revelation chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. Why do they use that? They believe it proves Jesus is black, therefore the Israelites are black. What does it say in context? What does it say in context? Let me look at it. Let me look at it and show you briefly. This is going to have to be brief. Then I turned to see the voice that was speaking to me, and on turning I saw 7 golden lampstands. So this should let you know this is symbolic. How do you know? Because if you go to Revelation 1, at the end, in verse 20, it says, as for the mystery of the 7 stars that you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands, the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. My point, the passage tells you that it's symbolic. It tells you in the passage itself, because Jesus interprets what some of the symbols mean. But they take it from a description of Jesus' royalty, majesty, dignity, that's what it's really about, to his ethnicity. If Jesus is the way that they say he looks, this isn't the place to find it. Let me show you why. Revelation chapter 1, verses 12, going to 13. In the midst of the lampstands, one like a son of man, clothed with a long robe and with a golden sash around his chest. You should think priestly, royal right there. The hairs of his head were white. So it's describing his hair. Wisdom perhaps represents that. Purity, that shine, right? White like wool, like snow. So how white is this hair? As white as wool, as white as snow. They say, so Jesus had woolly white hair. But is that what it says? It's talking about color, not texture. If it's texture, what's the texture of snow? Because it says white like snow also. It doesn't just say white like wool. What's the texture? It's not about that. And let me show you, it's going to get worse. His eyes were like a flame of fire. Clearly symbolic. Hebrews like say that's because he's enjoying it. I'm not kidding. They say he's either really upset or some say he was drinking before he comes back. I'm not joking. I'm not joking about that. IUIC says he had a little something. His feet were like burnished bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters. So they'll say the roar of many waters, that's like a very white voice. It's describing the bass in his voice. But if you look up the phrase, like many waters, it's a way to describe whenever Yahweh is speaking in the Old Testament. This is saying when Jesus speaks, Yahweh speaks, not that he has a deep voice. But that's what they try to say. His feet were like burnished bronze refined in a furnace. So the KJV says something a little bit different. It says, as if they burned. They'll say, what is something when it burned? When it's burnt, they turn it into the past tense. They'll say it's black. So they'll say, well, if feet were black, he had to be black. By the way, think about something that's burnt black. That's not really a description of how most people look anyway. Second of all, and it's in the Greek tense, but it's reflected even in the translation, it says, as if they burned. That means they are burning. It's not saying they were burnt. What does metal look like when it's burning? Gold, hot, flame. Everything about this shows the brightness of Jesus. The golden sash, the lampstands, the stars, the flame, the sword. He is a man on fire. This is his deity. And not only that, but in the KJV, the way it's translated, it says his head or face was white. Now, that's not a proof text to say Jesus white. It's just saying, describing the brightness and the shininess. It says like the sun, but they'll skip over that one and just say, well, that means he was bright. But the rest of it becomes an ethnic proof text. We got to go to the next one.